Well, there, Turbo 310R Annual Sports fan. It's that time again, 2025, and today is June 4th. The airplane came into Annual yesterday, and a good shop tends to be very busy. I tried to get it in Annual a couple weeks earlier, but things always slip. But it's in now, and as you can see, its pieces coming apart. And yeah, the AUX tanks, both of them need to be replaced. That was about a $4,000 thing. I've already bought them, but they have to put it in. There's the vacuum pumps. If you remember the vacuum pump saga, that seems to have been cured. That's kind of not a problem anymore. But cylinder number 3 on both engines. This is where you go, uh-oh, on the Annual. And annuals are you don't like surprises, but you find out what you've been living with for the last year that wasn't right, but wasn't big enough to cause you an issue, but now it's an issue on the Annual. So both number 3 cylinders on both engines, left and right, had low compression. One was like 30, the other was 50, and they ran the engines. And usually there's a lot of debate. Mike Bush, a lot of debate about testing compression and stuff like that. And but they ran the engine, got them a little warmed up again, and they still there's the new apprentice mechanics there doing spark plugs and stuff. And this is cool. I've actually got two working on the airplane at the same time. Of course, it's always easier to take things apart. I can take things apart. They never seem to go back together quite the right way. So, but anyway, things are always easier to take apart. And here's the other engine. There's the other vacuum pump. You see, we put that little cooling jacket on it there to hopefully help. But the main thing, I think, is this little valve right there. See that valve right there? That's the little valve that controls the boots and that. And we replaced one of those, and we haven't had a problem with it so far. So be that as it may, but you notice how tight this hanger is, okay? And they got a lot in there. But anyway, as I was saying, the both number 3 cylinders, they think I might have a burnt valve on one, and I asked them, well, what causes that? And they said, well, a little bit of carbon can get under the valve and it gets burnt. Of course, one of the other mechanics jokingly said, nope, it's pilot air, definitely pilot air. And of course, there's probably some people who might think it is. But anyway, I've had this airplane for, let's see, about 9 years or so, and I've only had one other cylinder off. So they were saying that with a burnt valve, you got to pull the cylinder and it's got to be overhauled. So that's always a fun little adventure, and by fun I mean expensive. There's looking in the door, and there's the other AUX tank. Each of those holds 20 gallons, and these tanks, if they were original, which they probably are, they're almost 50 years old. So yeah, you see how tight all this is? They're about 50 years old, so they have problems and they don't last well. So they're being replaced. I had an earlier video about how I fueled those up, started flying back, and then I got the massive fuel leaks, and it's a good thing the darn airplane didn't catch on fire or that, but it didn't, and I safely got it down and did a little video on it. It shows them trying to catch the fuel that was leaking out of the vents. And of course, there's some things in the back that's obviously important because they look at it. Yeah, that's my rudder cable there. Oh, after that crash of that 310, yeah, that's probably really good to be looking at. Yeah, of course, that accident hasn't come out. The cause hasn't come out, but there's something wrong with the rudder there apparently. And one of the comments that's the reason you always do a maintenance post-flight, before you take and put people on it. But anyway, that's the saga of the 310 Annual. So hopefully I'll give you updates on it as it goes, and we'll see what happens. Hey, thanks for watching, and the story continues.